Energy. One of the most vital components in space engineers. Without energy, your grids will fall from the sky, keep you locked inside your home, or stop your production entirely. I'm Alice, and today I'm going to show you how to generate power in a smarter and more automated way using the new event controller in Space Engineers. For today's demonstration, you will be needing a few things. Firstly, you will need your primary power generation source. In this instance, we're going to be using solar panels. Then you will be needing an alternate power generation method, like hydrogen engines or a nuclear reactor. And lastly, you will be needing an event controller to be able to automate this entire process. Now, to start with, we need to create our primary power generation source. So, in order to make a solar array similarly to this one, you will need to create a tower raised up from your base to allow the solar panels as much clearance as possible. Then you will be needing a rotor and a hinge, followed by a camera on the array itself, and lastly a custom turret controller with the option always aim at sun toggled on. Then once you've set up all of your rotors and cameras, you will be good to go on the solar array. Next, we need to set up our alternate power generation method, and lastly we will be needing to set up our event controller. So if we go into the control panel and locate our event controller, if we then scroll down, we will have to change the event to power output percent, which is located towards the bottom of the menu, set the condition to equal or less than, and set the threshold to roughly 3%. Now the threshold may vary for your base specifically, and a great way to figure that out is to turn off all of your production to see how much power the base is consuming idly. Then you want to scroll down to your available blocks, select all of the solar panels, and then add them to the selected blocks section. Then you want to make sure that all of the blocks you wish to use for alternate power generation is put into a block group, before then going back into the event controller and going to select actions. Here we want to find the group for our hydrogen engines, putting toggle block off in the second slot and toggle block on in the first slot. Now what this does is that the moment the power output from the solar panels reaches below 3%, the hydrogen engines will turn on automatically. Now this could, for instance, be when the sun descends below the horizon on a planet, or when bad weather decides to obstruct your solar panel's view to the sun. No matter what happens, your alternate power source will be able to turn on and continue feeding power to your base or grid when you most need it. Now keep in mind you can use this system or a similar one for things like turning on auxiliary power on a ship that is, for instance, in combat, or for a grid that is running out of power by either just changing the selected blocks or changing the event to the stored power percent event and using batteries. At this point you might be wondering, why even use solar panels in the first place? I mean, I could just use wind turbines and get constant power. Well, on some planets you might not even have an atmosphere, or even in space. And you might even have uranium yet, so using nuclear power might not be an option. And it's much easier to set up solar panels and hydrogen engines than nuclear reactors. And besides, solar panels work great as a form of in-game clock to allow you to be able to turn on various things, like exterior lights, during the night, which will cause you to save power overall. And with that, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you found this helpful in any way, shape, or form, feel free to hit that like button. And if you want to see more guides like this one, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!